Good afternoon. We are at the 17th Asian Conference on Education. Today is the second day of the conference, and behind us there's a poster session going on. And I am here with Dr. Sean McMinn. Thank you so much for being here. Could you briefly introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
All right, my name is Sean McMinn, and I'm the director for the Center for Education Innovation at the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. And I run a center where we have multiple hats. We help faculty with their professional development. We also help senior management with their strategic.
You were a panelist yesterday.
Yes.
Could you briefly tell us what that panel was about?
So the panel was a lot about skills and the need for skills in the future workplace. I had two excellent panelists beside me, one from Sony and one from Google, I believe. And we talked a lot about the skills that workplace and industry may need in the future as a result of AI. And that ranged from technical skills to the need for more softer skills. And what emerged from that conversation was we basically agreed that critical thinking is increasingly in-demand skill because of AI's impact in the workplace, but also things like grit and wisdom, a lot of these soft skills that education doesn't always address.
I'm going to ask a question that I ask all our interviewees. What should the purpose of education be?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think it should be multiple purposes, right? One is knowledge acquisition, that's still important. Even though some students may feel that they can get knowledge elsewhere, it's still important for education to be able to help them understand knowledge in depth and knowledge that's contextual to their needs or their workplace or their careers. But we should also be helping them develop values, right? So it should be value-based, and education should be experiential in the sense where students are able to experience various aspects of the knowledge that they're learning, the context in which it's applied, but also various skills and competencies that are important, whether they're value-based or competency-based in the sense of being a good leader, being able to make good decisions, and a critical thinker. So I think education is multifaceted, and we tend to focus a lot on knowledge-centered or knowledge-centric type of approaches to education, but I think now in the age of AI we need to broaden a lot more and include values as well.
So in your panel as well, you talked about the future of skills in the workplace. Do you think that current geopolitical and socioeconomic tensions are dictating the purpose of work and the relevant skills needed to go forward?
I worry about this a little bit because with the current geopolitical issues and trade wars, for example, but also some of the social economic issues that are emerging, we see public policy and education policy starting to emerge that's focusing on things like robotics, AI, and an increased need for STEM subjects. These are important, right? There's no doubt in that. They're very important. But sometimes when you add something new and place emphasis on something, something has to go in the curriculum. And I'm seeing in some universities in different regions, less so on humanities and social science. So in that sense, indirectly, I think geopolitics is playing a role in that sense. And I think we need to take a step back and really look at how can we balance the two? How can we address a region's need in order to equip its citizens so that they can advance technologically, because that's the criteria and the agenda for a lot of countries. But at the same time, have a system that enables us to understand the social technical impact and how we interact with technologies and how that has an impact on well-being and in some ways human flourishing, because human flourishing is very important.
Are we currently reactionary or progressive when it comes to AI?
Reactionary, I hate to say it. I think a lot of institutions worldwide are reactionary, and I still see it today when I talk to various colleagues from different universities, whether it's in North America, Europe, or in Asia. They're still focused on academic integrity, although now it's slowly shifting to the impact on learning outcomes and whether or not AI is enabling students to offload their learning to the machine, therefore not having deep learning. It's okay. And And so that's one of the things I think. It's still a reactionary. It's as soon as we realize that it's having an impact, we react to it. Universities need to start to sit down, involve all stakeholders, and really think through what is your strategy. How do we align our university's strategic goals and our governance with the remainder of the university initiatives, whether it's teaching, professional development, or students' well-being, and these are issues that we should be considering. And then identifying key points and then moving forward from there and trying to come up with a strategy 3 years, 5 years down the road. It's hard to do because the technology is changing so rapidly, so there will always be a bit of a reactionary approach. You can't guess everything, and sometimes the technology goes sideways when you thought it was going to go another way. But at the moment, unfortunately, that's all we're doing. We're just reacting.
So in order to be progressive, we need to come together. That's the first step.
Come together, have events like this actually, where you bring in different stakeholders from different scenarios. There are other great organizations. The Digital Education Council is one of them. It's an alliance of over, I think, up to 140 universities worldwide. They have a summit every year. They have working groups, and they see the need, and they understand that every university is unique in its own way. It might be a small university, a large university, liberal arts, business, doesn't matter, right? But a lot of times with this topic that we're talking about, we're sharing a common goal. So if we can get together and share what we've done well, what we haven't done so well, and then come up with policies together in that sense. So I think collaboration, communication is really important.
Today you were also the respondent for the forum session. What are your thoughts on the forum in general?
It's amazing. I mean, I was here 2 years ago, and I talked to people, and seeing the shift in the thinking and what teachers are concerned about is very interesting. I mean, 2 years ago, there was a lot of surprise and shock at the technology and what it could do, and now we see teachers talking a lot about their concern of cognitive offloading. So you see a lot of dedicated teachers who are really concerned about their students' well-being. And out of the forum, I heard a variety of really interesting views. I mean, some things that we just talked about right now, the need for collaboration and communication. Surprisingly or not surprisingly, depends on who you talk to. A lot of people talked about the need for more social sciences and humanities because that's going to become increasingly important. And then others said that, well, we need to consider all and the relationship between them all, which I would agree with in that sense. I still think that we're still just scratching the surface. I think the fact that a lot of the teachers, they're focusing on the learning outcomes and the impact of learning outcomes. They tend to forget what the industry wants. And I think we need more dialogue with the industry, right? So that we can make sure that we're helping the students be ready for the future of work. We know that from some industry leaders that they are testing out AI in the workplace and to make their workflow or operations automatic and automated in some ways. But we also know that they're not working 100%. There's still a need for people, and there be people to understand the technology, but also understand the dynamics of human-to-human relationship, teamwork, collaboration, and leadership. So I think what came out of the discussion at the forum is good. Keep on thinking about the learning outcomes, very important, but we need to also think about the impact on the industry and how we can help our students. And also one thing that we didn't talk a lot about is well-being and human flourishing, because that's increasingly becoming important in this complex world we're living in. And AI, can it be used to enhance human flourishing? And it can only do that when we think about both human skills and also the technology.
So we have a forum session at each conference that we hold. So according to you, the next forum session should discuss human flourishing and well-being. What kind of questions would you ask?
Okay, for human flourishing and AI, you want to think about things. I mean, what enables humans to flourish? We know happiness. We know having wisdom. We know having good leadership skills. A lot of these soft skills that we talked about enable us to flourish. Having sources of entertainment, right? So it's not just about GDP, right? Which a lot of indexes really look at the progress of a nation or a region. Human flourishing is a lot more complex than that, right? Happiness is one component, as well as access to things that you enjoy, right? So AI, in a sense, we need to look at its impact. Is it enabling us to flourish in those areas that make us happy, that allow us to have an enjoyable life? Can AI make us wiser? Can AI enable us to broaden our mindset and think about things and understand and develop empathy for others, right? These are all elements that are relevant to human flourishing. It sounds a little philosophical, but I think it's very relevant in today's world.
Okay, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being the respondent for the forum. And I hope we'll see you again next year.
Absolutely, it's a great event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.